Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirahe Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktirabhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 13, verse number 18. Tataha Krishna Mudam Kartum Tanmatyanam Cha Kashya Cha Upayayitam Atmaman Chakre Vishwa Kridishvara Tata Krishno Mudam Kartum Tanmatranam Chakasya Cha Ubhayitam Atmanam Chakre Vishwa Kridishvara Tata Krishna Mudam Kartum Tanmatranam Chakasya Cha Ubhayayitam Atmanam Chakre Vishwa Kridishvara Tata Krishna Mudam Kartum Tanmatranam Chakasya Cha Ubhayayitam Atmanam Chakre Vishwa Kridishvara. Mataji's. Tataha, thereafter, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mudam, pleasure, Kartum, to create, Tat Matranam Cha, of the mothers of the coward boys and calves, Kashya Cha, and the pleasure of Brahma, Ubhayayitam, expansion, both as calves and as coward boys. Atmanam, himself. Chakre, did. Vishwakrit Ishwaraha. It was not difficult for him, for he is the creator of the whole cosmic manifestation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: thereafter, just to create pleasure both for Brahma and for the mothers of the cows and cowherd boys, Krishna, the creator of the entire cosmic manifestation, expanded himself as cows and boys. Purport: although Brahma was already entangled in bewilderment, he wanted to show his power to cowherd boys. But after he took away the boys and their cows and returned to his abode, Krishna created further astonishment for Brahma and for the mothers of the boys by establishing the lunch pastime in the forest again and replacing all the cows and the boys just as they had appeared before. According to the Vedas, Ekam Bahu Sham, the personality of Godhead can become many millions upon millions of cows and cowherd boys, as it did to bewilder Brahma more and more. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this is a very interesting chapter that we have been reading, one of the very important pastimes in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Not to say the others are not important, but considering our direct relation with Lord Brahma that we all have, being part of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So here it is somebody who is very integral part, in fact the head of our Sampradaya, Lord Brahma, who is being discussed. And apparently the thing being discussed is about his bewilderment. This shows the very important truth that we all should know, that as marginal energy, as infinitesimal small jiva souls, we are constantly under the control of either the internal energy or the external energy. And in both the energies, many a times we get bewildered. Bewilderment is an integral part of our existence. Most of the time we are always bewildered because of our very minute nature. Many years back, I'm sure all of us will recollect that there was this small film or documentary that we saw of a particular insect or a grasshopper or something, as animated film, where he is crossing the road and a truck comes and tramples on him. If you have seen that, you remember? What is it called? Whatever it is, I'm sure you'll know. So he was crossing and then the bird is attacking. So constantly this particular misery loves company. So typically this video shows that how this small insect is constantly under bewilderment because of the minute size. Either something is trampling, something is going to eat him, something is going to happen this or that. So similarly, we all, no matter how big we may be in the material world, as long as we are in the material world, and this includes Lord Brahma, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartirno Arjuna, that whoever we are, right from Lord Brahma, or is explained in the Brahma Samhita, from Indra to Indra Gopa, from a big demigod like Indra to a small insect Indra Gopa, whoever we are subjected to bewilderment, constantly bewildered. So if you want to really give a story of our life, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his bhajan, this bhajan, Durlabha Manava Lobhiya Samsare, and then he explains what all things he has gone through. And he says that, what can I tell you? It is the tale, my life is nothing but a tale of bewilderment and misery. And he says that how these different types of illusions that danced in front of me like optical illusions created in a circus. Chaya Baji Prai. Right? He says that when we go to a circus, there are different optical illusions that come and dance, and we get very bewildered, enamored by these optical illusions. Similarly, these illusions are created in our life, and we all get extremely bewildered by these illusions in the desire to enjoy sense gratification. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhogavancha kare nikatiya maastane jhapatiya dhare. That once we have forgotten Krishna, that is the beginning of our bewilderment. Because we get constantly bewildered because we are constantly trying to be happy in our life. We are working very hard to be happy in our life, to be successful, to enjoy. But what is bewildering to our mind is, in spite of trying so hard, why am I not able to enjoy completely, eternally, for a long period of time? Why it is very short-lived, if at all this pleasure which is there, Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala, that is as short-lived as a drop on a lotus flower. So why is it so short? And that's very bewildering. I'm working so hard. I'm foaming at the mouth, trying to be happy, but I'm not becoming happy. So that's a big bewilderment, and that's what the jiva's soul is constantly subjected to, bewilderment. And here also we're talking about bewilderment. So because we are insignificant, our insignificance causes bewilderment. And we are trying to be significant. But can any one of us become significant like Lord Brahma? What is Lord Brahma? I'm sure we all know, but it's good to recapitulate to get some understanding. Who is Lord Brahma after all? First of all, as we discussed, he is the very head of one of the 4 bona fide sampradayas. That itself is a huge, big position. He is the original guru of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Now we talk about of high birth. We talk about high birth, and we don't really much see the importance of high birth much in India, because we have some sense that it's not necessarily high birth is all important. But if you go to Britain, and recently they celebrated one of the most important ladies of the country, her birthday. You are from England, right? What, 70th birthday or 80th birthday? Whatever, 75th or whatever. And I happened to be there at the same time. The whole country was just big, huge festival for this lady, definitely important lady. Prabhupada definitely said that she has got some very special karma for being what she is, being the queen of England. But the main thing is because she has a very high birth. She's from the royal family. She stays in the palace, the queen's palace, high birth. So anybody with a high birth, royal blood as we call sometimes, he's from the royal family. But what can be a higher birth than Lord Brahma, who is Atma Bhu, who doesn't need a father or mother to take birth, who just directly comes from the navel of Lord Vishnu himself. Now what can be a higher birth than Lord Brahma? Directly from the Lord. And he doesn't really need to really have his parents to come together. He just comes from the navel of the Lord. What a high birth. He stays in Satyalok. We talk about staying in a palace, staying in a big mansion, staying in a $1 billion house nearby that we have. It might be a big mansion. But what can be a bigger place to stay than Satyaloka, which is the highest planet in the material world? Satyalok, it is all full of truth. To have a wife like Saraswati, who is knowledge. He's the husband of Saraswati. And we talk about demons. No demons can play around with Lord Brahma. They may play around with Lord Shiva. And we know examples. But with Lord Brahma, they are really serious because he is the most powerful person in the material world. Hiranyakashipu, when he wanted some power, he played to Lord Brahma very intensely because he knows that, and they don't really try to fool with Lord Brahma. Shiva, not to say that he is not great, but because he is Bholenath, they try to really play around with him sometimes. But Lord Brahma, they know that this man, we can't play around with him. He has 4 heads to understand things. So he's powerful. So, and what to talk of having disciples like Vedavyas and Narad Muni. To have disciples like that, Lord Brahma. So Brahma, and we talk about a long birth. What is the life? It is 4,320,000,000 years, is it right? 4,320,000,000 years is the life of Lord Brahma. Come on. There's one day, I'm sorry, not even life, that one day multiplied by 100. Into 65, whatever, it is a huge number. So that's a huge life that he has. So Lord Brahma is a powerful man. So when you're talking about Lord Brahma, it is important to really refocus and reorient our mind. It is not Lord Brahma. It is Lord Brahma. It is not some ordinary, person who's getting bewildered here and he's on the pages of Bhagavatam. He is a very, very powerful, the most powerful person in the material world, Lord Brahma. And see what is happening. Brahma is getting completely bewildered by Lord Krishna. So if somebody is really great and he gets bewildered by somebody, that person is really great. Recently, I think I got from a mail from Talavan. We get these mails, and we saw that there was this. The mail said that the Pope, he went to some place, isn't it? And he said that there was a huge limousine car that came to pick him up, and the Pope that was mentioned in this mail is a German by birth. The current Pope may be the German. I don't know the current status of the Pope, but this particular Pope was a German. So there was a huge limousine, and the driver had come and they said, please sit in the limousine and I'll take you. The Pope said, no, you get down, I'll drive, because I have not driven since long. So the driver said, well, no, I can't do that. I've been hired to drive you and I will lose my job. He said, no, just come over. No, nobody will come to know. You sit at the back and I'll sit on your seat and drive. I have not driven since long. So he drove, and then he was driving at 105 miles per hour. And the driver was like, I don't think this is a real story, but it conveys a point. Maybe it's real, I don't know. But it conveys a point. So he was driving at full speed and the driver was saying, my God, the police is going to catch hold of with this. It is going at much beyond the speed limits. And surely behind there were cops with their siren coming, and then they overtook the car and they stopped the car, and the person, hey, who? And the Pope opened, and then he saw. And then as soon as he saw the driver, he called his head. He said, sir, what do I do? There's a person who is going in a limousine at this speed, and I caught him. I said, catch hold of him and fine him. He deserves. How dare he does that? He said, no, he's a very big man. I said, whoever he is, do it. I said, no, I can't do it. I said, what do you mean you can't do it? I said, is he some big actor? No, bigger. Is he the governor? No, much bigger. Is he the prime minister? Much bigger. And then he says, it is God. I said, what? And then the person asks him on the phone, are you drunk? What do you mean God is driving? I said, what do I do? This person has been driven by the Pope. So that man must be God sitting in the car. The Pope is driving, so the person sitting behind must be God. Who else can be driven by the Pope? So if a great man drives a person, the natural deduction is that person has to be too great to be driven by the Pope, isn't it? So that's the similar thing that is happening here. If a great man like Lord Brahma is getting bewildered, then the person who bewilders Lord Brahma must be super great. So constantly in the Bhagavatam, we have been reminded that while Krishna is the person, who is very simple God, who goes around the forest wearing simple forest flower garland and does simple things like sting the butter and doing simple things, but still we must not forget, dare not we forget, because of his simple behavior, that he is God. Because this is very, very natural. It is very natural that we take it for granted. It is very well shown in the latest movie, which is the animated movie on Krishna. Very, very interesting that here Krishna is killing a demon, maybe I think Trinavarta or some other demon, and he's killed him brutally. I mean, we have read it, but it is nice to see it in an animated form. He killed him brutally, and then he somehow finds himself hanging in a tree because he fell and he was hanging in a tree. And then this same Krishna a few minutes ago was going so high, practically to the heavenly planets, taken by Trinavarta, and he was enjoying that ride. Right? Just see this paradox. The same Krishna was just going high and high and high and enjoying the ride, and he was smashing Trinavarta while he was going high. And after some time, he just finds him dangling on a tree which is just few feet high, and he says, oh, what do I do? I'm feeling scared. He's talking to his elder brother. What do I do now? He says, I'm feeling extremely scared. So Balram says, jump. And then the monkey pushes him. And then of course he jumps and he goes further high, as we say. But, so this is Krishna's sweetness. But the sweetness of Krishna should not be taken for granted, that we forget his godliness. That's very important. That's why if you forget Krishna's godliness, then you become a Sahajya. And that's what happens. What does Sahajya mean? That they forget Krishna's godliness and they just get enamored by Krishna's sweetness. And they just sweet, and they get diabetic. The sweetness and no godliness, no Aishwarya Bhav, none of Krishna. That's why Prabhupada was such a powerful Acharya. He knew this. He said, that's why we should worship Radha Krishna in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. Awe and reverence. Not that, Krishna, you can give a mobile phone. Somebody gave Krishna's deity a mobile phone and things like that. You can't do that to Krishna. Krishna is, is cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Lord Brahma, the first prayer he says is, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha. And then he has Lakshmi Sahasrasa Sambrama Sevya Manam. He has Lakshmis and Gopis and everything. The sweetness is there, but he is the Supreme Lord. So time and again we are being reminded by the Shastras, this powerful Shastra, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please don't ever forget that. And Krishna does this. And by doing that, the way he does it, that he makes it very entertaining also. And he achieves so many things. He tells the audience that I am the Lord. am the Supreme Lord, please don't forget that. And while he's doing that, he pleases Lord Brahma, as is written here. He wanted to show his power and he wanted to please, just to create pleasure for Brahma and the cows and the mothers of the covered boys. Krishna is a multitasking person. We talk of multitasking being something recent. Now here is Krishna is a super multitasker. He achieves multiple things at a time. And the main thing that he does is he wants to please his devotees. He wants to just make the devotees, those who are surrendered to him, he wants them to completely get pleased. And those who are on the borderline, those who are forgetting his supremacy, he wants to teach them a lesson. So here is two devotees, Lord Brahma and the gopis. Gopis are sold out servants of Krishna. So Krishna said, oh, you are sold out to me, I am sold out to you. I want to do everything that pleases you completely. And that means I will become your son for 1 year. Because you always want to be my mothers. Because you are sold out to me, I will do that for you. And Lord Brahma, temporarily you are bewildered, I will take care of your bewilderment. With the same activity. No two activities, same activity, I will achieve these two things. And the third thing is, the audience for the rest of eternity will know who I am. Because I need to constantly remind them who I am. Because they may forget. Seeing my sweetness. Seeing my tendency of eating mud. Seeing my tendency of stealing butter. Seeing my tendency of stealing the clothes of the gopis. People might get bewildered and they might forget that I am God. So I have to remind them. And that what we will see in the next few verses, we will supreme demonstration of the Lord's godliness. Great, majestic godliness, opulence of the Lord, His power. You will see that. So, this particular aspect of bewilderment of the devotee is very, very significant, and we read in this one prayer of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a very, very, another very powerful demigod. He says, oh my dear Lord, who am considered, no, he said, oh my Lord, who am considered to be the best of demigod, Lord Shiva is saying, and Lord Brahma and the great rishis headed by Marich are born of the mode of goodness. Nonetheless, we are bewildered by your illusory energy and cannot understand what this creation is. Lord Shiva is talking on behalf of all the great saints, Lord Brahma and himself. I said, we might be great people, very great people. But he said, we are bewildered. Now, the dictionary meaning of bewildered means a condition of being confused or disoriented. The exact definition is a condition of being confused or disoriented. We don't know what's happening, disoriented. Many times when we go on a fast, that thing going around, or when we go on circles in during our kirtan, then we don't know what's happening. We are disoriented for some time. We have to catch something. And till the time we come to our orientation, right? And then we can be stable. Otherwise we are disoriented. We don't know where we are going. Many times we are confused and we don't know where we are going. So he said, nonetheless, we are bewildered by your illusory energy and cannot understand what this creation is. Aside from us, what is to be said of others like the demons and human beings? They're talking about us. Lord Shiva is talking about us. Who are in the base modes of material nature, Rajagun and Tamagun. How will they know you ever? So he's making it very clear that you and me can never ever know Krishna. And there are some very amazing pastimes we'll briefly describe before we go into the next discussion of how Krishna bewilders some of the most great personalities. We have this very, very beautiful story of coming in the 12th canto of Bhagavatam. Any guesses? 12th canto of Bhagavatam, a story of bewilderment. Markandeya Rishi, very sweet story. Markandeya Rishi is he is a very, very powerful Rishi. He has no death. But there's a beautiful story about him that he was going to die at a very young age. He was worshipping Lord Shiva intensely. And then he was so intensely worshipping that at age of 16, when he was supposed to die, the Yamadutas came trying to take him, but he was still worshipping. They can't take a person who is worshipping. They can't kill him. And then Yamraj personally came and took a noose, tied a noose around him and was about to take him. But then he was worshipping Lord Shiva. He couldn't really tighten the noose, and they removed the noose. And while he removed the noose went on the Shiva Lingam, around the Shiva Lingam where he was worshipping. So Shiva got angry. How dare you touch me? I said, this noose is not meant for me. How dare you touch me? So Shiva came in. There was a huge fight between Shiva and, Mahajans also fight. Two Mahajans, Shiva and Yamraj, they were angry with each other. So getting angry with each other is not a problem. Sometimes devotees get bewildered. We are talking about bewilderment. Sometimes when two devotees, they apparently have fights, how is it possible? But it is possible, because if Shiva and Yamraj can fight, two very serious personalities. One is sitting in Kailash, and other Yamraj is a very serious person. So they were fighting. Finally, Lord Shiva defeated Yamraj. That's really something amazing, isn't it? To defeat Yamraj. And he said, Yamraj said, what do you want, Shiva? He said, this person, this devotee of mine, he will not have any death. Is eternal. Is that okay to give me that benediction? He said, given. So Markandeya is an eternal person. Very great Rishi. So Markandeya Rishi was performing tapasya, trying to please Nara-Narayan. Nara-Narayan were pleased, 12 canto Bhagavat. And then, as sometimes devotees have this, what is called the itch, or what you call in Hindi, we can't use that word. So, they have this itch. So he said, my dear Lord, I've heard about your illusory energy. I want to have some experience of your illusory energy. So the Lord said, are you sure? Only once, yeah. Are you sure? He said, yes, I want to experience it. I said, fine. And the Lord went away. He was in this beautiful ashram. And suddenly, as we said, the sky broke loose, as we said. There was this huge, dark, huge clouds of devastation. And we see the explanation there. There was a huge downpour. Huge downpour. Practically, he said there was no difference between the land and the sky. The whole thing was jalashay. Bolte na, jalashay ho gaya. The whole thing was just water. It's just water. Complete, nothing but water. There were huge Timingala fishes, huge sharks. It's the ocean monsters there. And our little Markandeya Rishi, Prabhu, he was just, tossing and turning, and he was getting smashed. And it was a huge experience for him. Bewildered. Just everything water and water and water. Nothing else but water. And this went out for millions of years. He was getting tossed and turned by water. Rain from top, rain from below. The fishes were fighting with each other. And they were about to attack him, and he was saved every time. A very, very horrid experience. Try to understand, it is not easy. So just imagine. Many times I imagine this. I don't know, maybe I have this very, very fearful memory. I don't know from where. That suddenly an ocean is coming in front. And just imagine if we are doing Hare Krishna jap, and suddenly there is the ocean just comes up. And we have seen videos of this tsunami that happened in Japan. I'm sure. Just by seeing it on a makeshift video, which was not even because the things which are put up are the videos taken by some people from their phones or from their video cameras, not some professional cameraman. So just a very amateur shooting which was done, and from that we realize what a tsunami is, the way it comes. Those who are not seen, please see it. It really gives you, what the power of nature is, as it comes and swipes out completely. And that's what Markandeya Rishi was going through. The whole thing was millions of times. It was as good as devastation. And then he was tossed and turned for millions of years. And then far, he sees one banyan tree. Just one lone banyan tree with leaves. And he sees the amazing. We had many years back, we had made our Gopal in this beautiful form of Vata Pata Shahi. Sitting on a beautiful banyan leaf. He was just, sailing in the ocean like this. And he was sucking his toe. And when he saw this form, he was just so attracted to this form. He tried to go near, but he was getting tossed. He went to go near, tossed back. Finally, he reached there. And as soon as he reached, this form of the Lord just inhaled. And everything went inside. He also went inside his body. And in his body, he saw all the planetary systems, all the hills and everything, including his hermitage and everything. And then you put him out. Then he was back to the normal situation. And it was only 1 second which has passed by the time he was given that experience. But in 1 second he experienced the whole turmoil for millions of years. A beautiful explanation. It's very long, but if you want we can read it. This shows the power of the Lord's illusory energy. Now, he experienced it with his own, a powerful rishi. We have another very beautiful story of a person who was extremely keen to see the Lord's illusory energy. A very powerful man. I'm sure you are guessing it. Lord Shiva. And of course the description is very, very enlivening to read it in the Bhagavatam rather than me speaking about it. Lord Shiva with his wife went to Lord and he said, you took this form of Mohini Murti and you bewildered everybody. This form I want to really see that form. And of course there's a beautiful description of how the Lord took the form of Mohini Murti, and Lord Shiva was completely bewildered in front of his wife running after this Mohini Murti. And of course many things happened. It's not my adhikar to speak about this very respectable person, but it's there in the Bhagavatam. So from these examples of Markandeya Rishi, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, we understand the glories of Krishna. That if he wants to bewilder, and these great souls, they are so happy to be bewildered by the Lord. He said, Lord Shiva, the most wonderful thing about this story is, Lord Shiva is saying, you are so wonderful. He's telling his wife, Uma. I said, just see this Lord, he's such a great personality, that if he wants to bewilder, even I can't control my senses if he wants to bewilder me. And that's why I was running shamelessly behind this lady who apparently looked to be a lady, but she was Lord Vishnu. That is the power of the bewildering energy. So what to talk of insignificant creatures, minute creatures like us. And even in our dreams, you should not get this idea of experiencing Krishna's illusory energy. And even if we do, I don't think Krishna is going to ever take it seriously. I mean, what is the use of your thinking, right? So this bewilderment is a constant activity in the material world. And the one thing which is two things that are constantly happening. The devotees are constantly getting bewildered by the activities of the people in general. And the people in general are constantly getting bewildered by the activities of devotees. That's a constant thing happening. The bewilderment is always there. As Prabhupada said, this world is a world of cheaters and cheated. Similarly, this world is also a place of bewildered and the bewilderer. And the devotees are sometimes bewildering, or devotees sometimes bewildered. My respectable father, many times when we became a devotee, he would get tremendously bewildered by the activities. The normal understanding in our Hindu society is you go to a temple, you must go to a temple, but you go, you pray for 5 minutes. Sometimes you have a lot of prayers to do, you pray for 10 minutes. And then you should not leave the temple without sitting in the temple. There is a strange custom, you should sit in the temple. So sometimes people pray and then they sit for 1 second and they get up. Sometimes I got bewildered by this. We have a temple near our house and people would just come and they do like all sorts of things and like this and and they would sit and touch their base to the seat and get up immediately in 1 second and go away. It's ritualistic. So that's what we were grown up in the society. You should spend just enough time, not more. So my father saw, and my mother also, but much more my father, he said that you people, you spend 7 to 8 hours every Sunday in temple. He said, what do you do in the temple for 7 to 8 hours? I said, he couldn't just imagine. I said, sometimes 10 minutes, 15 minutes is fine, but 8 hours on a Sunday, what do you do there? He was extremely bewildered. And then many times you will tell, Father, we are not there for Diwali, we are going to Yatra. And he said, very nice, where are you going? He said, Vrindavan. Oh, Vrindavan, very nice. Next year, we are not there for Diwali again. Where are you going? Vrindavan. Vrindavan! I said, you just went last year. And you go to the same place again and again. The normal understanding of us
general person is you go to different places, different in Diwali. Sometimes you go to here, sometimes you go there. But going to the same place again and again and again. He was bewildered. He said, I just don't understand. How can you go to the same temple, hear the same story from the same person and have the same people with you and still you go there? It's bewildering. So karmis get bewildered by this. And the thing that bewilders him the most, you know what is the most bewildering thing for him? Devotees, you don't read newspapers? How can people don't read newspapers? He was bewildered. In fact, he told the leader of this temple, he ordered, in fact, because he had sort of a close relation with the leader of this temple, he said, you should tell all your followers and including you, you should read newspapers every day. Because how will you know what's happening in the world? So that was the bewildered situation that these people were in. So my father. And sometimes the devotees bewilder the outsiders. I mean, the devotees are bewildered by the outsiders. That we all know. Constant, what we see outside is bewildering. People spending hours on cricket matches. Many times devotees also. Spending so much money on things which are useless. So bewilderment is always there. I mean, as practicing devotees, we do get bewildered. Sometimes there is serious bewilderment. When after spending significant time in Krishna consciousness, there is serious bewilderment that happens. Sometimes we get bewildered by people's behavior, people's activities or something. Like Prabhupada, one of the serious bewilderment that happened, I said that sun is near to the moon, nearer than the moon. And why? Because Sunday comes before Monday. And of course, a few years back, I had a serious discussion with Dhruta Karma Prabhu when he was here, many years back. I said, please make me understand scientifically how this. He said, I accept it, but I'm not bewildered. But I said, I was surprised myself. But he said, I was doing my studies. And he said, with all my studies, I realized that yes, what Prabhupada said was right. But he said it in a very casual way. It was extremely bewildering to people. So we do get bewildered. So what do we do when we get bewildered? First thing that we do, or one of the three things that we do is, first, we just remain silent. We don't do anything about it. We are bewildered. We don't really do anything about it. We just remain silent. And if we don't do anything about it, there is two possibilities that happen. One is, by the passage of time, the bewilderment is solved. Sometimes the time reveals the right thing to you, and you are no more bewildered. Just by remaining silent, the whole thing gets solved because your bewilderment was very temporary. But sometimes when you don't speak, the bewilderment becomes more serious. And you don't speak, it's serious, and it practically shakes your Komal Shraddha. The Bhakti Lata beach which is sprouted, which has grown into a very small Komal Shraddha. It is not a Nishtha yet, it's Shraddha. Very Komal, very, very delicate. It shakes your faith sometimes. That's what happens when you don't reveal. Sometimes you are bewildered and you want to reveal. But you reveal to the wrong person. The second thing that we may do. We reveal to the wrong person or persons about your bewilderment. And when you reveal to the wrong person or person about bewilderment, you get more bewildered, or you don't really get the right understanding of a situation, and there is again a loss of faith. Because bewilderment is nothing but connected. It leads to loss of faith. When you're bewildered and you don't do anything about it, it leads to loss of faith in a devotee. Bewilderment directly attacks the faith. So it's loss of faith. And the third thing that you may do, that you can approach the right people in your bewildered condition. You reveal your heart to them and you might get enlightenment. So that is why we must understand, by our hard work of staying in the material world, we have created this fruit of bewilderment which has the seed of enlightenment if we approach the right person. I repeat, in this activity that we have done, we are creating a fruit of bewilderment by our activities. And that bewilderment, the fruit of bewilderment, has a seed of enlightenment if we approach the right person. But if you do not approach the right person or persons, then this fruit of bewilderment has a seed of eternal confinement if we approach the wrong person. Bewilderment can lead to enlightenment. When you read the bewilderment of Yashoda Mai It leads to enlightenment of the glories of Krishna. When we read the bewilderment of Lord Shiva or Markandeya Rishi, it leads to the enlightenment of our heart, because we read, we understand from the right source in the right way from the Bhagavatam what exactly this bewilderment is all about. It leads to the enlightenment. But if the same bewilderment the fruit is given to a person who is not rightly situated, then that will lead to our loss of faith, which will lead to complete confinement. Not enlightenment, but confinement of our soul. So one of the important things that a sadhaka should always have people, because there is bound to be a situation where we will be bewildered, because we are none of us are bigger than Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva or Markandeya Rishi. We are bound to be bewildered. So if we are bewildered, then we must have some people or people, one person or few more than one, where we can go and pour out our heart. We might not have the understanding to get out of the bewilderment, but at least we should pray to Krishna that please give me the understanding to go to the right person when I am bewildered. Otherwise we are finished. There are so many people in this who are so fortunate to join the Krishna Consciousness movement, but they get bewildered by some activities, some things here and there, some talks, some behavior of devotees. And they give up this path of Krishna Consciousness because they don't really get the right understanding. They lose this chance. So that is very, very important. We have this friend, our Anand Gopal Prabhu. Very classical story, many of you may be knowing. First day in Vrindavan Yatra for him, the first Yatra of his life. He is sitting in the bus, enthusiastic, heard about Vrindavan Yatra, very enthusiastic, very fired up. What is Vrindavan Yatra all about? Sits in the bus, sits in the front seat, sees out of the window. He sees two senior devotees. Lord Shiva and Yamraj could fight, even senior devotees can fight. Two senior devotees managers fighting with each other. Complete loss of faith. Luckily it was temporary. Loss of faith. He said, my God, this is what, they covered all these things for this few years, but now I can see the cruel facts of even devotees' behavior. They also can fight. He was bewildered, but he said, might as well I spend some time, because I've spent the money. He's a Marwadi. So let me at least spend some time. So he stayed back. Lucky for him, the next day, while he was sitting, sort of bewildered situation, he sees the two same devotees. He was hearing a class, he told me. So two same devotee, one devotee comes and offers this sastang dandavas to the other person, the person that they were fighting with the previous day. And Anand Gopal Prabhu has the intelligence. He said that what I saw yesterday was what I see all over the material world, but what I see today only happens in the devotee circle. He stayed back. So we get bewildered. Lucky for him, he saw both the things happening. But bewilderment is there. And many of us, in your own hearts, we can examine that yes, there were situations where we are bewildered, and there are situations that we are bewildered even now. What to do in the situation? Because that bewilderment, if not addressed, it can practically shake the Bhakti Lata beach, the faith that we have. It can really shake to the root. Because bewilderment is nothing but attacks the Bhakti Lata. So we should approach the right people. So the best thing to have is close relationship with few devotees whom we can really confide in. Whom we can really say that, yes, Prabhu, I am bewildered, please help me in this situation. And another important thing that we should understand is that we should never in our behavior be the cause of bewilderment to others. Our achar, our prachar, our behavior should be such, we should try, because see, ultimately it is not in our hands. If people do get bewildered, but we should try to our level best, that we should not be the cause of bewilderment of the other people that we are dealing with. And if at all they have to get bewildered, because bewilderment can be of two categories. One is bewildered by the negative behavior of ours, and second is bewildered by the superlatively good activities that devotees do. I'm sure all of us, when we hear the story of Vasudeva the leper, and he was taking those worms and putting it back on his body, it to this day, after 25 years of hearing the story, it is still very bewildering. How can somebody be so, so detached that he takes their worm back. He said, because the worm has the same right to live in my body as much as I have. It's a bewildering story. But that bewilderment causes uproar of, or rather a uprising of bhakti in our heart. That is a good bewilderment. When we hear Prabhupada traveling to America with 3 heart attacks, having 40 rupees which are non-exchangeable, it is a very bewildering story. Extremely bewildering. But that bewilderment causes growth of bhakti. But the negative bewilderment is what we should avoid. And we have, and if you seek, we want to be bewildered by the good activities of devotees. It's the perfection of our life to get bewildered by devotees' amazing activities. And I was just making a list that what are things that bewilders me every time I come to this very, very wonderful temple that Prabhupada has gifted us. Every time I come here, this place for me is a place of bewilderment. Seriously. It bewilders me every time I come here. And for whatever years that I've been coming here. This place is the place where I see a postgraduate physician standing in a shoe stall. It's bewildering to me. As how can a qualified physician stand on a shoe stall doing menial service? I don't want to give names to embarrass the devotees. In this place, a IIT graduate and a scholar of Shastras does menial service in temple, wearing a small bandi. It's bewildering to me. That how can such a qualified person do menial service in the temple? A school dropout is changing hearts of millions, or rather thousands if not millions, by his devotional scholarship. A person who is not even educated, not even finished his graduation, but that person by his devotional scholarship, not just scholarship, devotional scholarship, is changing the heart of millions. When I see that happening, it is absolutely bewildering to me. And it just uprises a great devotion in my heart and get faith in my heart. I pray for this bewilderment. A top class MBA graduate every Sunday washes the thalis here. It is a great bewilderment for me. With many times a torn kurta. This man can earn lakhs and lakhs of rupees and is washing a thali religiously, no matter wherever he is he's there on Sunday washing a thalis. Bewildering. A top class industrialist and a major supporter and a donor to this temple goes back to his home because he's been stopped, not come for an important flower festival. He doesn't even crib, doesn't do anything, goes back to his home and sits happily. When he practically owns this whole temple. This is bewildering. Such activities of people are extremely bewildering. How can somebody be so good? A BARC scientist lady engages herself in making simple flower garlands. A very intelligent scientist from BARC, she must be somewhere here also, making flower garlands. So when we see such acts of devotion, and many more, many more, then it is bewildering. But this bewilderment is welcome. We want to get bewildered by such things, and that is what Krishna is trying to teach us. That such bewilderment leads to rise of bhakti. And what happened when ultimately what was the result of Lord Brahma getting bewildered from this beautiful story? His prayers. And the powerful prayer, Tatenu kampam susamikshamano bhunjan evatmakritat vibhagam. This beautiful prayer came from his heart. Is it not after this bewilderment? He prayed that with folded palms, let anything come. Tatenu kampam susamikshamano. I welcome anything that comes in my life. Tatenu kampam susamikshamano. What a powerful prayers. Prabhupada repeats this verse again and again and again. So let us understand, bewilderment is bound to be there. Let us not be the source of bewildering people by our negative behavior and put them away and make it more difficult for their practice of Krishna consciousness. Let by our own behavior be a source of bewilderment if we have to be. Let it be a source of bewilderment by our good qualities. That is bewilderment. So that is what we understand from this beautiful verse, and we will see as Krishna is so brilliant, he's just thinking in his mind, in a short he understood, oh, this has happened. Lord Brahma is becoming a little naughty. We need to teach a lesson. And we have this very, very famous place in Vrindavan, very close to Vrindavan, Chowmuha. We all went there, where this beautiful pastime took place, where Lord Brahma, stole this Chowmuha. Chowmuha means four-headed. Chowmuha. So there's Vrindavan, Bridge says Chowmuha. That's the place, the name of the place, Chowmuha. The four-headed person came there. So that special pastime, as we see what the godliness, the majestic aspect will be revealed to us, what Krishna does in the next verse itself. It's verse number 19, that is tomorrow you will see Krishna doing amazing things. And then it simply fills our heart with amazing love for Krishna. The Krishna, you are simply so wonderful, and not only you are so wonderful, the people whom you bewilder are so wonderful. And by the bewilderment of devotees' activities, the devotees sometimes they do such amazing activities. What talk of, when the Lord gets bewildered by the activities of devotees. There's a constant competition. The Lord sometimes bewilder his devotees, but the devotees by the activities, they sometimes bewilder the Lord. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Haridas Thakur, the way he was talking when he was departing from this world, he was bewildered and he said, there's nothing wrong with my body is all right, but my mind is in disturbed condition, I am not able to finish the prescribed number of rounds, I am in a diseased condition. And Lord Chaitanya was amazed that, please reduce the number of rounds, enough. And we'd like to end with a small story about how Lord Chaitanya was completely bewildered by one of the most powerful devotees, Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya decided that the Lord is always respecting me because I am senior to him and he is always offering respects. I want to do something by which he chastises me. He started preaching the Mayavad philosophy. And try to understand, Advaita Acharya is original Lord Shiva, Sadashiv. And Shiva was the cause of Mayavad as Shankaracharya. So when Advaita Acharya started speaking Mayavad philosophy, he attracted huge crowds. And he started preaching this powerful philosophy of Mayavad. And hundreds of people were coming, thousands of people were coming from all over Navadvip. And the news went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that your person, your Advaita Acharya, he started preaching Mayavad philosophy. And Mayavadi bhashya shunile hoy sarvanash, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. That is what he was preaching, and he was surprised. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was bewildered. How is this possible that Advaita is preaching Mayavad philosophy? He said, let me see it for myself. He went to that place. And he saw Advaita Acharya preaching the Mayavad philosophy. He saw him saying that this body is like a pot, there's air inside the pot, there's air outside the pot. When the pot breaks, the inside air merges with the outside air, so we all become one. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw all this bewildering, manipulative, world jugglery philosophy. He went and he took hold of Advaita Acharya, right? He was sitting on the Vyasa seat. And he started banging him and pushing him and beating him with his fist. He was an old man. Sita Thakurani came running and said, please don't kill, he's an old man. Don't hit him, he'll die, he's an old man. Now Advaita Acharya was laughing. He was laughing in ecstasy. Thank you, my dear Lord. You at last accepted me as your servant. What happened? What happened in this pastime? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was bewildered by the devotee. And what was the reason of his bewilderment? Because the devotee wanted mercy from the Lord. He wanted to act in a humble way. So this bewilderment is a very amazing, integral portion of our philosophy. But what you get bewildered with and what you are to bewilder people about is a very important subject matter. So let us be bewildered by the positive things of Krishna consciousness. And let us pray that this temple becomes the most powerful abode of positive bewilderment to all of us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any comments? It's quite late, so we will end here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.